deliver the presentation, and after that continued by Mrs. Maulinatia Wulandari for the second section. It's around 30-minute presentation, and after that we will have a question and answer section for 30 minutes. So for the participant, you can prepare from now. If you have already a question, you can prepare by following our guest lecture. And before I welcoming Mr. Sohail, I would like to read the curriculum vitae of Mr. Sohail. So it's a very long and great curriculum vitae I ever had here. And Mr. Sohail Riyaz, PhD, is completing his PhD in advertising and public relations from Balanquerna University in Barcelona, Spain, and also completed his master in mass communication management with specification of advertising and public relations from Superior University, Lahore, Pakistan. Uh, and Mr. Sohail also conduct some research in public relation and media, also in advertising strategy. Okay, so now his position as the founder of communication, media and communication studies in Comsat University, Islamabad, Lahore campus, Pakistan. So maybe we can start directly now, Mr. Sohail. I would like
Thank
to
you.
welcome you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Diane.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any problem in sharing the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. In the name of Allah, Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. I'm going to share the initial introduction of my university as well. We have also been ranked 401 to 500 in CS and information system by QS World Rankings in 2016. We were ranked first in Pakistan by the World University Rankings. And you can see that in Times Higher Education ranking, we have been falling among 600 to 800. And we also hold this honor that we have been producing a highest number of impact factor research papers since 2017 in Asia, because in 2019, we had produced 2,500 impact factor research papers. So our strength is research. Let me tell you that ComSats is an abbreviation of Commission on Science and Technology for South Asia. So we are a commission of 21 countries actually. On the from that platform, ComSats University is one of the initiatives of that commission for the promotion of science and technology in the region. So this is the profile of the university. Now I would share, because previously I'm an advertising practitioner. I've been in advertising for 2 decades. I worked as a creative director. In my last assignment, I have 22 TV commercials to my credit. I've been handling the communication component of brands and public sector both. So I would encourage students that ideally the student, it is ideal if you are a practitioner and you come into academics, that combination becomes wonderful. It benefits the students a lot. So in 2016, ComSats University approached me considering the achievements I had made in Superior. As Dr. Pia knows me, that when she came to Pakistan, I was in Superior. So I established this department from the very scratch in 2018. And this is the pioneer batch. They were the first batch who trusted me. They trusted my vision. They trusted my faith. And then we counted on it. The important thing about this institution is that we bring only quality students we take. We have a very strict parameters for student intake. So we take very few students, but top of the line with high GPAs and high NTS score. So the second thing which, when I designed my product, what I did was that I had thought that I will have very strong collaboration with the industry. So when I launched my program, we have done industry collaborations, extensive industry collaborations by which our student gets benefited. Television, newspaper, advertising, development communication, digital communication, performing arts, and all kind of top name in Pakistan. They are our partner. They train our students. They avail our campus opportunities like research and all other stuff. And our students gets trained in these institutions. This is second phase of the MOU, in which again, we had done MOUs with the industry that benefit our students. This is the key, because we believe in hands-on trainings and hands-on training and communication. This is the model which has made this program so successful that within 2 years, we have almost 170 students in our department. So moving on, these are the MOUs which we did, and these are these are the students who are actually in the third semester, but they are working as producers, as anchors in the digital media channel, apart from studying on ground. So this is our vision I'm sharing with you. This is how we are doing. I would like to move on from here. Then when these students got trained locally, an opportunity came, which I also shared with Dr. Pia, and we had a student from UB University as well. He also applied for Global Youth Reporters. So once you pre-qualify by learning the production, learning the basics of communication, then your teachers and your faculty can present you on the international platform. This is how you can help your teachers. This is how you can help yourself avail global opportunities. So this model I'm sharing with you because it's inspiration for you, that the students of 4 semesters are being given an opportunity to work with the Emerson College USA as a global youth reporters for Team Harmony. This is how it was. So these 8 students from Media Studies Department got selected at World Youth Reporter from Pakistan. They have contributed in the web series to eradicate hate, social injustice, and racial crimes worldwide. So we are the part of this, and I am team lead Pakistan for this Team Harmony initiative. So I also look forward for all kind of collaborations with our international friends. Pia is quite into it. She's already the part of that community, and I look forward that we will be doing a lot of things as per the vision of Dr. Anthony, as he mentioned that he's forward looking towards all such opportunities for his students that can benefit in their personal development, professional development, career planning, and academic excellence. So we are at par in this regard. We are thinking in the same way for long-term collaborations and to benefit our students by mutual sharing whatever resources, content, and faculty we have to add strength to our students. I am the advisor of Global Harmony team. Now, we come to our topic. First of all, since they are students, so let's see what academics says about crisis management. What are the basic principles of crisis management? Let me play this video. I can open.
like coronavirus epidemic, requires for us to...
Can you see the screen?
I don't think so because it's
in
gray
risk
in my
circumstances.
screen.
Is YouTube video available, visible?
No, I
Can
cannot see your screen, your
okay,
video. I mean, I
okay,
can see your screen, but I cannot see your video because it's
okay. I
gray.
will have to share that. No, now you will be able to see. Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes. Is it?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Like coronavirus. Communicating in risk circumstances like coronavirus epidemic requires for us to remember three communication principles. The first one is we have to pay attention to objective indicators. But for leaders, it's not enough to consider only objective information. We need to give a lot of information to perceptions. Perceptions create problems. Perceptions create crisis. So we will be able to handle a situation like this, not only looking at numbers, but looking at our people, our stakeholders, understanding them and addressing them in the way they want. Our efforts shouldn't be dedicated to change.
Sohel, we can hear your voice. Please turn on your microphone, please. We can hear your video.
The first
Okay,
stakeholder should be always the internal stakeholders, also because they will become the main and addressing them in the way they want. Our handle a situation like this, not only looking at numbers, but looking at our people, our stakeholders, understanding them and addressing them in the way they want. Our efforts shouldn't be dedicated to change public perceptions. Our main effort should be to change the risks perceptions are based on. Consider your main priority communicating with your internal stakeholders. Of course, we have to be consistent and talk with the same message to every single stakeholder. It will be a public authority, clients and consumers, partners, local communities, but the first stakeholder should be always the internal stakeholders, also because they will become the main source of information of what the company is doing. There are a few guidelines to communicate in risk situations. Risks are not taken the same way by everybody. So we have to understand that they depend on age, on education, on experience. So a good thing to do in a risk situation is to adapt to your audience, to understand the audience and make sure they are connecting. Another recommendation to communicate in a risk situation is to understand that risks bring fears. And fear is a very strong emotion. So the more emotional people get, the less they will listen to us. If we take an approach of addressing any risk from a scientific point of view, they will not listen to us. So my recommendation would be to be really empathetic, which means listen a lot. Do not react to strong emotions or strong reactions to people. And be aware that the more you are calm, the calmer the audience will be. Another element is to understand the risk. Risks are always linked to two things. The first one is familiarity, and the second one is control. We are not afraid of familiar things, even if they are really, really dangerous. And the risk depends on how much we control that activity. So a recommendation would be to implement anything that the audience will think they control the issue. In a risk situation, the best communication channels are always dialogue, conversations. This is why when we are facing a risk, where we have to make sure not that we are talking, but we are listening. We need to create channels or platforms in which people can bring over some elements, some new facts. So it's more a conversation than a top-down teaching. There is something that never works, which is silence. What we have to do in such a circumstance is to flow with information to our stakeholders. When people don't listen to the company, they are afraid of missing something. This is why it's so important, updates, being really proactive, repeating the same message as many times as needed, and make sure we are communicating properly, because people think we are giving them enough information. The core of any communication during a risk situation is building trust. Why? Because people know that companies and governments have lied to them. They may trust other sources more than the top management. So we have to build trust. And how we do that? Telling always the truth, never lie to anybody, and to anticipate questions. Preparation is the key element to build trust and not to lie ever. In risk situations, we have to make sure we talk about our expertise. The risk here is that top management speaks about things they don't know or they don't understand. So for company leaders, they have to bring experts to the table, and they talk only about what they know. And another best practice in communicating in a risk situation is to make sure you understand that we are in a fluid situation. So don't be overconfident. Being overconfident makes intelligent people panic.
I hope it helped to understand the concept we are discussing. Now, these are the elements which crisis brings: threat, damage, fear, stake of reputation. So these are the things which we have to deal while taking up it from here. The first step you should adopt is to minimize the damage. First of all, in a risk situation, because you don't know every time that you are into a crisis situation, you don't know how you will overcome this crisis. So first of all, the thing is that you should minimize the damage. You should keep try to save the ones who are so far not damaged. Indonesia, we feel very concerned and sad, and whenever we see a lot of storms coming, sea storms coming in Indonesia, I often ask Pia about it, Dr. Pia about it, and we really feel concerned. So you people have quite a lot of training and patience and skill of dealing with the crisis. So these are some of the strategies. I am talking to the students. So one part I am using is academics. So I'm trying to communicate the steps which experts have advised. The first thing one should do is to do situation analysis. What is the situation? Do your initial assessment of the situation. Then you have to develop your team for the crisis management. Then you have to come up with a plan and start managing your crisis. The fourth thing is developing message. Develop and approve and release messages for different audiences and group proactivity. Then you have to do monitoring off and on, getting feedbacks, understanding the efficacy of the message, and changing your strategy over across. Like I will share with you how we did it in Pakistan, how we actually kept on seeing the pulse of the people, and then we changed our strategies with gradually. Another reference which exists about crisis management is discuss responses before reacting. It is about feedback, communicate with public promptly and clearly, prioritize customers' risks and concerns, educate and support employees, use modern communication technology tools, monitor sentiment, and assess business impacts. So this we have seen. How it started, let's see what was the situation when we had the first indication of Pakistan at stake of receiving any kind of corona effects from their neighboring country.
Okay. I'm sorry. We can. किसी किस्म का फितना फसाद न करें, अल्लाह पे भरोसा करें। किसी किस्म का फितना फसाद न करें, अल्लाह पे भरोसा करें।
The first event which happened, this what you are seeing is that the corona started in China. I'm telling you the story. We are into the storytelling thing, you know. This is how it all started. The first signs of corona were seen in China. So we have got a huge number of students who are studying in China. We had a lot of pressure from inside, from the parents, to bring those students to Pakistan right away. But this is the time when nations have to show character and trust and faith, like the trainer just told us that you have to trust. So in our negotiation with the neighboring country, we ultimately decided not to bring them and keep them safe over there. Our delegates went there and they looked after the students and did all the measures that could build up trust on the part of students, right? We move on from here. You can see how boiling the situation was. Then we will see the next thing. There was another. We were able to manage this from China because we did not have any case from China. Nobody entered in Pakistan from China, so we were able to handle it. But those people who were coming from abroad, from Middle East, from America, from USA, from England, from all other countries, expats which were visiting their families, coming to Pakistan, they were the one source of bringing infection to Pakistan. That was the first wave which was started to appear among the people, and the government had to think over it, because China, which was the most dangerous area, if we could have opened that or brought people from there, that didn't happen. But these people somehow started to come to Pakistan by different routes without declaring that they are from Pakistan. So this was the second channel of communication of the infection. Then a lot of people of Pakistan were stuck in our neighboring country, which is Iran. we share borders with many countries. So a lot of people were stuck over there. So China, Iran asked them to go to their country. That was the time when Pakistan had to face a real serious threat, and when we had a lot of people entering the country from a infected country, and they were carrying the infection as well. So this was the time when we had to come on ground. We had to make strategy. We had to think how to deal with it. And now I will share with you that how we dealt with it. What the government did. Now it's on the part of the government how they responded to it. What was the strategy that the government adopted and that worked? I'll be sharing that with you now. Just let me turn on the video. I hope I'm not boring you guys.
उससे निपटा कैसे जाए जो मामलात थे उसमें इंफॉर्मेशन एक अहम मामला है सिंध में बलूचिस्तान पंजाब वहां क्या बातचीत हुई उस हवाले से क्या फैसले हुए
The government set up a command and control center in which all the stakeholders from it was they involved the prime minister, the chief of army staff, the health minister, and the foreign minister, and all those stakeholders who were related to the concerns which were appearing, they were brought at the same platform, and a national command and control center was set up. All the information, all the communication emerged from there. This is what can you see my screen? Is it visible to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is that command and control center which was set up in the capital, and all the key stakeholders used to be there all the time to manage the information, to manage the resources, to one challenge which we had was that when we put in lockdown, then the biggest challenge was that we have such a huge population. We have almost 22 billion people. So poverty, who live, 60% of the people live below the poverty line. So there was another challenge to provide food and all the living to those people. So it was also one of the key objective of the government to provide them with the food and everything at their doorstep, which was and it was also given, cash was also given. Almost I must say $80 was given to every family, which is quite a lot for a poor person in Pakistan. So this is how the command and control center was looking after all the things, sharing strategies, making plannings. All the provincial governments ministers were on board, all the finance ministers were on board. So all the intelligentsia of the country was on board to look after, and it was all controlled from the this center, National Command and Control Center. This is the key thing which actually helped Pakistan combat this coronavirus, because all the key stakeholders were on one table all the time, round the clock working. We also had managed to bring masks. We also had managed to bring ventilators. This is such a strange crisis in which every nation was aspiring to have all these things. There was a lot of demand, but no supply, because all the things were not that extensively, ventilators were not that extensively produced. It was not something which is mass produced. Likewise, masks, all the oximeters and all the things. So here we forecasted the how many cases we will have by what time. So according to that, this National Command and Control Center had actually played key role in developing the strategies, developing the communication, developing the resources, helping the people understand and all the stuff. So now I will take you to the next thing where what next they were doing. The next thing we did was that we brought expert who had actually overcome this already. We brought experts from China because China had actually overcome this epidemic before. So Chinese came on ground with a lot of material for our people. I'm sorry. They extended a lot of skill-based expertise and other stuff. So this was another initiative which was taken by the government to actually overcome this situation. Then we had continuous press briefings. Even the head of the state used to appear often on the television to give press briefing for the trust building of the nation, to give trust to the people. This is how we used to have regular press briefing, which used to tell people what is the situation, how we are controlling it, what is the number, what are the forecasts. So this is how we kept people engaged, we kept people informed, we kept people calm, and these press briefings helped us a lot and to do trust building among people. You know, nothing works right in the crisis situation. It's hit and trial thing. Something works, something doesn't work. But there was a lot of effort on the part of the government, which actually proved to be vital. Then comes, so now once we were able to keep our cases at a good number, so then we started to receive here we are. United Nations General Assembly President-elect has said that Pakistan's COVID-19 strategy, good example for the world. This is how, no one can narrate it, that how we did it. Above all, it was the special blessings that Pakistan was able to restrict it at the 200,000 patients and almost 6,000 deaths from March to August and September. Now we are entering into second wave. So we are again following all those things which have helped us to combat this particular thing. Okay, let me share some remarks from experts that how we were able to, how did Pakistan flatten the curve? Despite ending its lockdown early, Pakistan managed to flatten the curve, but the country is still far from achieving herd immunity. There is a universal acknowledgement that the virus spread can be slowed down through behavioral change in the society. It can be voluntary with the masses, inform of the risk and how to save themselves, or it can be administratively enforced. We chose to do both. This is how they did it. They actually tried to get volunteer support by the people. At the same time, we did lockdowns, we did fines, we did all the administrative activities that could make our people safe, that could make them follow the SOPs and all other stuff. Media played an important role in creating awareness, which was backed by our testing, contact tracing, and quarantine programs. We have managed to increase testing capacity in a very short period and applied a sophisticated tracking system that ran through the ground to apex level. For the first 3 months, we saw a significant change in behavior. People wore masks and maintained social distancing. Once the cases slowed down, we saw less adherence to the SOPs. Now, last part, be patient. I'm about to finish the last part. How we communicated. Let's see how we communicated. I'm sorry for being not that technology aware. This was trust building, and we did fumigation at large scale in the country to make sure that places are safe. People who are going outside can see that what initiative we are doing. This was communicated.
महफूज रहें। ज्यादा कोरोना वायरस से बचने के लिए समाजी दूरी कैसे इख्तियार करें?
This is the animation about social distancing.
घर पर रहें, महफूज रहें।
Be at home, be safe.
ज्यादा लोगों के इकट्ठे होने और बड़े इज्तिमाआत में शामिल होने से गुरेज करें।
Avoid going to lot of people's places.
हाथ मिलाने या गले मिलने से परहेज करें।
Avoid shaking
एक दूसरे
hand
को फासले से
or
सलाम
hugging
करें।
and say
किसी भी
hello.
ऐसे शख्स से मेलजोल करने से गुरेज करें जिसमें सांस की बीमारी की अलामात नजर
Avoid
आ रही
meeting someone who has
जैसे
if you find any symptoms of breathing loss and you have fever, so you should consult the doctors. Do not have family gatherings. Prefer talking on the phone instead of physical meetings. Stay at home, work from home instead of offices. If you go to a store, follow SOPs, social distancing, don't be too close. If you are going to bank and any other place, if you find any symptoms, inform helpline 1166. This is one of the communication which was developed by the government, and there are many other such ads which I'll be sharing with you, few of them, not many. This was about social distancing. Then I will share with you the message for hand washing and one animated message. Then we will actually finish this with my personal concerns for which as a professional I have observed that these were the drawbacks of this campaign. Can you see how hand washing one?
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
खांसी से खारिज होने वाले छोटे कतरों और ऐसी चीजों की सतह को छूने से फैलता है जो कोरोना वायरस से आलूदा हो चुके हों। कोरोना वायरस इन चीजों की सतह पर कई घंटे तक जिंदा रह सकता है। याद रखें, आलूदा हाथ कोरोना वायरस के फैलाव का सबब बनते हैं। अपने हाथों से आंखों, नाक या मुंह को छूने से गुरेज करें। खुद को और दूसरों को इस वबा से महफूज रखने के लिए अपने हाथों को बाकायदगी से 40 सेकंड तक धोएं। हाथों को पानी से भिगोएं। हाथों पर अच्छी तरह साबुन लगाएं। हथेलियों को हाथों से खूब रगड़ें। दायां हाथ बाएं हाथ की पुष्ट पर उंगलियों से साफ करें और इसी तरह दूसरे हाथ को साफ करें। बाहम उंगलियों को एक दूसरे के साथ मिलाकर साफ करें। उंगलियों की पुष्ट को मुखालिफ हथेली में मजबूती से थामें, साफ करें। दाएं हथेली में बायां अंगूठा थाम कर रगड़ें और इसी तरह दूसरा अंगूठा रगड़कर साफ करें। दाएं हथेली की उंगलियों को बाएं हथेली में घुमा कर रगड़ें और यही अमल दूसरे हाथ के साथ करें। अब हाथों को पानी से धोएं। हाथों को टिश्यू या तौलिए से साफ करें। टैप को बंद करने के लिए यही टिश्यू इस्तेमाल करें। ऐसी जगह जहां साबुन और पानी मौजूद ना हो, हैंड सैनिटाइजर का इस्तेमाल करें। हथेली में हैंड सैनिटाइजर डालें। हाथों को धोने वाले अमल को इसी तरह 20 से 30 सेकंड तक दोहराएं। खुश्क हो जाने पर आपके हाथ साफ हैं। आपके इस अमल से आपकी, अहले खाना और बहुत सारे लोगों की जिंदगियां बच सकती हैं। सेहतमंद रहिए और कोरोना को फैलाव से रोकिए।
Now I want to show you one unique thing which they did.
लाहौर कॉलेज ब्राय खवातीन यूनिवर्सिटी में वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर बुशरा मिर्जा की जेर सदारत एकेडमिक काउंसिल का 25वां इजलास मुनक्किद किया गया। इजलास में यूनिवर्सिटी के शोबाजात की डीन्स, डायरेक्टर्स, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट और एचईडी के नुमाइंदों ने शिरकत की।
Now I'm going to show you one wonderful thing which the Pakistani people did to actually send across the message to the children so that they can be safe from any kind of threat. This is the last thing I want to share. Then I will give my feedback about the campaign, and then we will have a question answer session. Can you see this?
Sorry, the YouTube or your screen? The video? Okay. Yeah.
कोरोना वायरस, मुझसे डरो ना।
इतना डरावना, कैप्टन केयर कुछ करो ना।
He's saying, I am corona virus, fear from me. Now she's calling to Captain.
तुम्हारा कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा। कैप्टन केयर, तुम मेरा कुछ नहीं कर सकते। मैं तुम्हें हरा सकता हूँ। तुम मुझे हराओगे, मैं सारी दुनिया में फैल चुका हूँ।
He's saying you can't do anything about me, but he says I will beat you.
कैप्टन, ये वायरस तो बहुत जल्दी फैल रहा है।
जानता हूँ तुम्हारा अभी तक कोई इलाज नहीं बना।
You know, kids had a lot of fear. The kids were one of the stakeholders who were very fearful, and the parents also. So this guy is saying that this virus is spreading very fast.
मगर हम एहतियात के जरिए तुम्हें हरा सकते हैं।
We can beat you by precautions. Oh, precautions.
तुम एहतियात कैसे करोगे? तुम लोग तो चीखते हुए अपने हाथ आगे ले आते हो और फिर वही हाथ दूसरे पर.
He's saying that how will you save yourself when you sneeze? You bring your hands on, and when you shake hand, you are helping me transmit, being transmitted a lot. I'm so happy seeing the way you are doing things.
बच्चों से मिलाते हो. तुम लोग पास नहीं आओगे, इसलिए मैं फैलता जाऊंगा और सारी दुनिया में मेरा कब्जा होगा.
You won't stop doing all these things, and I'll be spread all over, and I'll be getting hold of the whole world.
बच्चों, डरने की कोई बात नहीं. हम कोरोना वायरस को हरा कर रहेंगे.
Now, Captain Care is saying that kids, don't worry, we will beat him.
हम आपके साथ हैं, मगर कैसे?
तो
How we can do it?
बच्चों, आपने करना ये है कि आपने दिन में कई बार अपने
Now, the SOPs are communicated.
हाथों को 20 सेकंड साबुन और पानी से धोना है. एक दूसरे से मिलते हुए कम से कम 6 फुट का फासला रखना है. हाथ मिलाने और गले मिलने से परहेज करना है. पार्क में खेलने और घर से गैर जरूरी बाहर निकलने और दूसरे.
Do not go in the parks, do not go outside, and don't use public transports.
शहर सफर भी नहीं करना. अपने मुंह, नाक और आंखों को हाथ नहीं लगाना.
Avoid touching your face, nose, and other eyes as well.
तो कोरोना वायरस से बिल्कुल नहीं डरना, बल्कि इससे हम सबने मिलकर लड़ना है.
These are good practices communicated.
धोना 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 धोना, बार बार हाथ धोना.
He's singing now, wash, wash, wash your hands times and again, times and again.
आँख, नाक और मुंह को यारो हाथ भी नहीं लगाना. गले नहीं है मिलना, किसी से हाथ भी नहीं मिलाना. घर पे ही रहना, घर पे ही रहना, घर पे ही रहना, घर पे ही रहना.
Stay at home, stay at home.
धोना 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 धोना, बार बार हाथ धोना. आँख, नाक और मुंह को यारो हाथ भी नहीं लगाना. गले नहीं है मिलना, किसी से हाथ भी नहीं मिलाना. घर पे ही रहना, घर पे ही रहना. हाथों को धोना, आगे के धोना.
Healthy Pakistan. Okay, now I'll come to the conclusive part of my presentation. I will just give my views about this communication which was done in Pakistan with reference to this coronavirus. COVID-19 communication campaign of Ministry of Health must have been planned and executed by the appointed advertising agency of the ministry. This work has been done by the advertising agency since it's a crisis communication. So while reviewing its efficacy, one has to understand the overall limitations of the stakeholders. After the outbreak, the initial messages focused on social distancing and precautionary measures awareness campaign in the absence of any real video production, 3D animation or animation. So animation was the only way to accomplish the desired objective because we could not go for outdoor real shoot because there was a lockdown everywhere. We could not go outside. We could do nothing real. So we had to rely on the animations, teleps, and this kind of stuff. So this was the first limitation of communication on the part of the government because we could not risk anybody bringing them together for the production thing. It's also good budget strategy in case of crisis as it doesn't involve all steps of the production from location, props, and other expenses. To some extent, since animation doesn't involve those production-based expenses, so it is a budget thing you can achieve. One can hope it to be low-cost production, and this budget saving must have been allocated to a smart media placement strategy, thus incorporating electronic and digital media being most effective to send message to less literate masses. The campaign initially tried to develop a mascot, which I discussed, to serve as a symbol of strong association, but inability to make it attractive, inspiring lost its relevance, and it is not yet seen in later campaigns. You know, like Safeguard mascot and all other McDonald's mascot, other mascots, which like KFC mascots, they become brand ambassadors. They get registered in the mind of people. But trust me, I only could find this Captain Care when I was researching for this presentation. So it was not effectively registered in the mind of people so that people could actually engage and kids could engage. So this was something which should have been done in a better way. As the epidemic spread, the scope of diversity and niche communication increased. As with the passage of time, we understood that we have sent generalized messages to the masses. Now we have to address segments of the society. So the follow-up messages were focused on the shopkeeper, business market, mosques, schools, home, and other spaces, which were focused communication based upon the different segments which can help to achieve desired objective. As a whole, it's yet another campaign which could not register a single signature line that becomes talk of the town and a strong motivator for the masses. When the lockdown relaxed, the last campaign or relaxed lockdown was not containing very convincing message, as the appeal incorporated was based upon consequential approach and accusing the person. It sounds too appropriate to address people under stress and fear. This should have been better communication. Instead of making people accountable and fearful, it should have been giving positive message. So that's it from my side. I'm really grateful to you, all of you, for being patient and listening to me. Thank you very much. Now over to you, the moderator. Please take it up from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sahel. Such a great presentation. Now, to shorten our presentation time, please welcome Mrs. Maulina Pia Wulandari. Okay.
Hello. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon everybody.
Waalaikumsalam.
What is such a wonderful presentation, Sohail. Can you just stop the screen share so I can screen share mine?
Will I have to do it?
Oh, no, that's okay. I can do it.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, so my part is, I think we almost similar with the Pakistani. I can found that both Indonesian and Pakistani love watching animation campaign. I know that the reason why is because it's very difficult to collect people to become a stars, or maybe, to have the production session during the Corona pandemic. Let's take a look. I'm very lucky because I got an access to presidential office, staff office of Republic Indonesia to give me the official communication protocol during the pandemic. Let me share to you. So how we can manage communication campaign during the pandemic. So when the COVID-19 pandemic entered Indonesia in early March of 2020, the Indonesian government created a COVID-19 handling task force, or in bahasa Indonesia Satuan Gugus Tugas COVID-19, which is consisting of various related ministries such as the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of State-owned enterprises, and other institutions such as the Indonesian National Army and Police of Republic of Indonesia. I think it's almost the same like in Pakistan. And the Presidential Staff Office established a public communication protocol that is used as a guideline for all government agencies in Indonesia in handling and responding to and conveying information regarding COVID-19 to the public. And the protocol was adopted from several existing protocol, especially those made by WHO. We are still working very closely with the WHO because WHO really concerned about the level or the number of people get infected in Indonesia, because they realize that we have a huge number of population in the world. So that's why WHO look at very closely to Indonesia, and the movement of the people who got infected, people who got cured, and the people who got died because of the virus. And Indonesia is a one country that um, WHO really concerned, because of we are by the location, we are in very strategic location in the world. We are in the middle between Asia and USA and other part of the world, and VI is the like the what is that, the cross session to go to somewhere else. For example, if Australian want to go to another part of Asia, sometimes they have to stop in Indonesia or maybe stop in Singapore. That's why WHO really concerned about Indonesia. And the aims of the protocol are to create a calm society and understand what they have to do for their immediate environment, and to build people's perception that the state of Indonesia is present and responsive in controlling crisis situation that occur. Uh, I can imagine how panic is the all Pakistani parents when they are hearing about the news, coronavirus spreading in Wuhan. It's also the same situation like Indonesia, but Indonesian parent is not like in Pakistani parents who got very angry. We still calm, but some of the parent, because some of Indonesian students going to Wuhan under a scholarship by the Chinese government, and we are working very closely with the Chinese government to make sure that our citizens in Wuhan are safe. There are 4 pillars of public communication related to COVID-19 according to Presidential Staff Office Republic of Indonesia. First is community appeal to remain calm and alert. Secondly is coordination with related agency. Third is providing access to information to the media. And finally, prioritizing the wash hands with soap movement. So at that time, in the beginning is how to make Indonesian people to wash their hands every time they want to enter the building or before they do their activity, because it's quite difficult to convey why we have to wash our hand every time. The key messages in the delivery of communication by central government and local government to the community, namely, the government is serious, ready, and able to handle COVID-19. We have to make sure our people that as a government, we are very serious to handle the situation. We are ready to help people, and we are able to handle this COVID-19, including we are able to provide like a logistic support for the needy ones, because we believe that uh, COVID-19 will be impact on our economy. And then people remain calm and alert. So that's why we don't want to have a panic situation, especially buying panic. I also felt that situation when the second weeks of the pandemic came to Indonesia. Every moms in Malang city, the where we live, the University of Brawijaya live, uh, every single mom in Malang City went to the supermarket and bought a lot of stuffs, you know. And then COVID-19 can be cured, because there are many hoax and many assumption by Indonesian people that COVID-19 can be cured, and it can deliver some death number to Indonesian people. Sometimes some people still think that COVID-19 is a conspiration. And then the Indonesian government create hashtag fight COVID-19. This is the central government communication activities. There are six, I think, main activities that they do during the COVID-19. This is organized by the Satuan Tugas Penanganan COVID or COVID-19 Task Force Unit. Form a communication team, appoint a spokesperson from the Ministry of Health who has articulation and ability to deal with the media. Creating a media center is almost the same like in Pakistan. Creating a website as a reference for main information, and then submitting national daily data regularly through press conference. So every single day they make press conference to report the national daily data regarding the COVID-19, and conducted only by spokesperson and release and update on the website. And then make communication products and disseminate other information about many issue or many topics, how we can handling and prepare for the pandemic. For example, like a basic explanation what COVID-19, explanation about prevention of COVID-19 outbreaks, until explanation of hoaxes and disinformation that occur. That's so many type of messages that they prepare by the Indonesian government. And then the local government also have a communication activity, but they have to follow the communication protocol set up by the center Indonesian government. So presidential staff office send the protocol communication that should be followed by the all local government in throughout Indonesia. It's almost the same like the activities like in center government, such like a form a communication team chaired by the regional leadership. Is if the in the context of we don't call it state, but we call it province. It will be led by governor, and then in the local like a residence, it will be led by a mayor, yeah, and then appoint a spokesperson from the health office who has articulation and ability to deal with the media. Is almost the same like in the center, and then providing information, and then but you have to get approval from excuse me from the central government, and it's only delivered by the regional government COVID-19 spokesperson. And from A to G, that's the data that only can only be published. And then a spokesperson from the provincial level can announce the information that is referred to number 3, like above at the respective provincial level. And then spokesperson from the district or city level can announce the information mentioned in number 3 above the respective district or city level. So the presidential staff office is very consider tightly how the local government can conduct their communication activities. And then local government can use material that have been developed by the central government, especially from the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Communication and Information, to be disseminated in each area. So basically, they have to follow every single information that announced by the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Communication and Information, but they still can like modify the poster, the flyer, the photo, the video, but the content is not has to be followed by the guidelines or by the communication protocol from the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Communication and Information. The parties involved is first level of health installation, and then a referral hospital, provincial and city regency health office, provincial and city or regency communication and information service office, Republic of Indonesia Ministry of Health, and then Republic of Indonesia, Ministry of Communication and Information, and finally Presidential Staff Office of the Republic of Indonesia. The target audience, according to Presidential Staff Office of the Republic of Indonesia, there are two types of cluster of the target of the audience. First of all is handling executive or parties involved. So it must be like for the implementers or the policy takers or policymakers must understand the action plans taken by the central and local government in handling and communication. It has to ensure there is a two-way lines of information is valid and agreed upon by all parties. And communication system must be established to ensure smooth communication. And second cluster is public, is an urban, in rural area, old generation and young generation. So we use all communication channel as possible. First of all, is website at the first reference, because nowadays everybody go to the website as the first medium of communication, and then Indonesian government always refer to the official website of the Ministry of Health specifically for COVID-19. And then we use television, print media, online media, radio, SMS gateway, social media platforms, school networks, youth, religious, political networks, other informal networks. Nowadays we use celebrities, influencers, people who has many followers. Not should be celebrities, maybe like ordinary people, like like a socialite, or maybe people who has a power or influence in their society. This is the guidelines from Indonesian government, action that we get taken. There are strict rules that have to be followed by center or local government. For example, especially not how they can produce key messages. Yeah, and this is the, oh sorry, I think I lost my PowerPoint, and there is some guidelines. Oh wait. Okay, so before we go this, it's almost the same like Pakistani government. The most important thing that we cannot spread fear among people, because at the first time pandemic came to Indonesia, Indonesian people are afraid. They have a full of fears. They don't know what to do. Everybody, they have their own assumption about the COVID-19 and how to deal with that. So that's why Indonesian government really concerned to avoid or to reduce the fears of the Indonesian people, and then try to make them more understand and more accepted how to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is the official website of the COVID-19 Task Force Unit of the Republic Indonesia. So you can get any data regarding about the number of people who got infected, people who detected got infected, and then the number of people who got die, and number of people who get cured. And then this is the another official website, and then this is the official website of the Ministry of Health. This is the example of photo for social media platforms. This is this message, especially during the Ramadan, to advise Indonesian people to not come back to their hometown, to stay at home. And then I would like to...
Tahukah kamu COVID-19 adalah penyakit yang disebabkan virus corona jenis baru yang menular sangat cepat, luas, dan menyebabkan kematian? Penyakit ini menular lewat percikan batuk atau bersin dari orang yang terkena COVID-19. Kita bisa tertular jika menghirup percikan tersebut atau menyentuh mata, hidung, mulut dengan tangan yang terkena percikan tersebut. Saat ini, ribuan orang Indonesia sudah tertular COVID-19. Penyakit ini berbahaya bagi kita dan orang-orang yang kita sayangi jika kita tidak menjaga diri dan berhati-hati. Yuk kita cegah dengan memulai dari diri sendiri. Lindungi diri dan orang yang kita sayangi.
Ayo cegah penyebaran COVID-19.
Pertama, pastikan kamu rajin mencuci tangan dengan sabun dan air mengalir selama minimal 20 detik. Ratakan sabun ke seluruh permukaan tangan, dari telapak dan punggung tangan, sela-sela jari, kedua ibu jari, hingga ke ujung kuku. Bilas dan keringkan tangan dengan tisu atau lap sekali pakai. Kapan kita perlu cuci tangan dengan pakai sabun? Sebelum menyentuh mata, hidung, dan mulut, setelah buang air besar atau kecil, sebelum dan setelah menceboki bayi, sebelum dan setelah makan, sebelum menyuapi dan menyusui bayi, setelah bermain, setelah menyentuh binatang, saat kembali dari luar rumah. Kedua, jaga jarak fisik dengan orang lain. Pastikan untuk tidak keluar rumah kecuali untuk urusan darurat seperti belanja bahan makanan, ambil air, atau berobat. Jika harus keluar rumah, hindari naik kendaraan umum yang ramai. Tidak pergi bermain bersama teman, hindari berkumpul lebih dari 10 orang, dan bila harus berada di tempat umum, jaga jarakmu sekitar 1,5 meter dari orang lain. Ketiga, perhatikan etika batuk dan bersin. Jangan menutup mulut dengan telapak tangan, tapi gunakanlah tisu atau lipatan siku. Setelah itu, segera buang tisu ke tempat sampah tertutup dan cuci tangan dengan sabun. Gunakan masker jika sedang sakit dan berpergian keluar rumah.
Lindungi diri dan orang yang kita sayangi. Ayo cegah penyebaran COVID-19.
Selain langkah-langkah tersebut, kita juga perlu meningkatkan daya tahan tubuh dengan cara mengonsumsi makanan dan minuman yang sehat serta bergizi seimbang. Ketika memasak, gunakan air bersih dan sumber yang terlindungi. Pastikan air dan makanan yang akan kamu makan sudah dimasak sampai matang. Kemudian simpan air dan makanan di tempat yang bersih dan tertutup. Jangan lupa gunakan peralatan makan dan memasak yang bersih ya. Berolahraga secara teratur dan istirahat yang cukup juga akan memperkuat daya tahan tubuhmu. Jika kamu mengalami gejala umum seperti demam, batuk kering, dan sesak napas, segera pergi ke fasilitas kesehatan terdekat atau hubungi 119 extension 9 untuk informasi lebih lanjut tentang COVID-19. Orang lanjut usia atau lansia dan orang-orang dengan masalah kesehatan seperti tekanan darah tinggi, gangguan
Tatanan hidup baru bukan berarti kita kembali ke kondisi normal seperti dulu. Tapi, kita memulai aktivitas normal dengan kebiasaan baru, dengan meningkatkan disiplin dan siaga terhadap penyebaran COVID-19. Seperti apakah kebiasaan-kebiasaan baru yang perlu kita terapkan? Usahakan tidak keluar rumah jika tidak ada keperluan mendesak. Jika harus keluar rumah, selalu gunakan masker. Pakai masker dengan benar dan hindari menyentuh masker terlalu sering. Saat di tempat umum, terapkan pembatasan sosial. Jaga jarak minimal 2 meter dengan orang lain. Sering mencuci tangan, terutama saat akan masuk ke dalam ruangan. Hindari penggunaan alat makan bersama saat di luar rumah. Usahakan bawa alat makan sendiri. Gunakan peralatan ibadah pribadi jika akan beribadah di tempat ibadah umum. Efisien menggunakan waktu di luar rumah. Segera selesaikan urusan dan pulang setelah urusan selesai. Hormati dan patuhi para tenaga kesehatan dan gugus tugas. Saling mengingatkan orang lain dalam penerapan protokol kesehatan dan menghargai jika diingatkan oleh orang lain. Jadikan kebiasaan-kebiasaan baru ini sebagai protokol kesehatan kita. Protokol kesehatan ada bukan untuk mengekang, tapi untuk kesehatan kita bersama.
So this is the example of how local government making the social campaign. And I think this is it. Thank you very much for listening my lecture. Back to you, Dian.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Maulina Piawulandari. So before we start our discussion section, so I have several questions also for both for Mr. Sohail and Mrs. Maulina Pia. Okay, related to the government concept in designing an approach, the message approach from their campaign. Okay, what are the government of Pakistan do? I mean, in specifically, I saw so many parties that involve in national control department, as you shown in the video, right? I saw almost the same actor that we shown also in the nation, so in the television related our government. It's not only about the government, how the military also involved there. Maybe you can describe the different role of the actor from the government or the military, and maybe in the social communication, I know that the public-private partnership in designing the campaign on promoting the issues. Okay, maybe start with the Pakistan from Mr. Sahil. Maybe you can share about each role of the government in designing the message approach for to reach the public of Pakistan.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, this was something which this generation has experienced. It's almost after 100 years that we came across this kind of epidemic, which was strange for anyone. That we have no one living maybe in Pakistan who has seen the 1918 epidemic. So we brought together all the resources of the country, all the intelligentsia of the country, all the stakeholders of the country to fight against this unknown enemy. We have not seen it. We don't know the strengths of the enemy. We don't know the history of the enemy. So it was all a chaos for everyone worldwide. You know, World Health Organization was saying, don't wear mask. Then they were saying, wear mask. Someone was saying it is not airborne. You know, nobody is pretty sure about what's actually this virus is all about. So you had to bring together all the people, all the intelligentsia, all the contributor from all the segments of the country to help our people, our public be safe, and to give them trust and confidence that everybody has sat on one table to make them safe and to give them trust and faith that we have got all the things in place to counter all this unknown, unforeseen enemy. So once the central chain of command, which was there, developed something by their consent, then that was communicated through the all the channels. You know, I've shown you videos, all the interactive things, because that keeps the interest of the viewers alive. I haven't kept my presentation more text-based. I've tried to put such material which actually takes you to the real situation, which tells you the real emotions which we were coming across. Like Dr. Molina mentioned, that there was no hype in Indonesia regarding Chinese students, and you have seen how what we were facing here. So this is the difference of the approach of the nation and actually the literacy rate that helps. And we have a lot of backward areas in many provinces where people even doesn't go to school. So we have to fight a different people altogether. We had to communicate with different people altogether. So we put all our best people at one table to devise a strategy that could help us combat by the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to this epidemic.
Okay, so that's how the actors integrate each other, the roles to create the same perception and risk, right? And maybe from Mrs. Pia, do you have any insight about how the role? Maybe you already presented each parties in Indonesia that involved in handling the crisis of COVID-19. And maybe can you be specific to each, not only about how the maybe integrate in each institution, like for the private with the military agency and the government, other government agencies to integrate each other.
Okay, I think we almost similar with Pakistani government, and interestingly, according to my analysis, this is the best moment in Indonesia, how Indonesian government can engage with their people. I think the best strategy to have a civic engagement, so hell, in Indonesia, everybody in Indonesia now want to be a source of communication. They want to be a speakers on behalf of themselves. Everybody try to make their own version of the social campaign regarding how we can handle or we can face the pandemic. So that's why it's very interesting. The musicians sometimes make music about how try to ask people to wash their hand, and then some of the celebrities posting something in the Instagram, like posting their masker, their fancy masker, their fashionable outfit, how they can avoid from the crowd but still stand out. I think the interesting now everybody want to join that program, but again the problem is even though Indonesian government produce so many types of messages, however the level of discipline of Indonesian people still uh, can I say that still questioning? I mean, still low. There are so many people still not want to put their masker on, or sometimes they forget to wash their hands, or sometimes they just ignore the health protocol. I don't know what's happened. I think it's not just only because they're not aware or they're not know the risk or the pandemic, but I think because of the level of stress of the people at the moment. I think the same situation in Pakistan, that economic is
Well, it was,
down very
yeah,
crazy.
it was the same worldwide. Developed nations have shown this kind of attitude. You can see recently, you can see in Germany, in a lot of developed countries, they are protesting against all the SOPs, implementation, lockdowns, and masks and everything. So we are in Asia, but developed nations have shown protest against all this kind of thing. So we are all human beings. We want to be independent. We want to be going out and living our normal life. So as you mentioned, I was specific about the government communication. As far as the Pakistani people and the Pakistani showbiz and all celebrities, philanthropists, they all joined hands with the government. But my time was too short. I could not put a lot of things in my presentation. So I stick to my subject academically, and also to actually give you an overview of the government side. If we will have another session, I can tell you how we had achieved civic engagement at local level, provincial level, and all nation was backing up, and everyone was the ambassador of this fight against coronavirus. So I'm happy that we have a lot of similar things. It's beautiful that we share so many values. This is something unique, that by knowing about each other, you come to the conclusion what are the shared values we have. That is beautiful.
Yes, I think one more is why we involve Indonesian Army and Indonesian Police Department to because they can help us to increase the level of discipline of the people, and also want to to enforce the law to the people so they can follow every single health protocol. Although there is a lot of debate among academics like me whether it will be successful or not, I don't think so, because the millennials, then they can't follow the rules. They want just to be free, they can choose whatever they want to do. Again, we are facing the new times, and not only just how to make people disciplined. Maybe my generation and Mr. Sohail generation must much more obedience than the millennials. I don't know, I don't think so. This is a very interesting debate. I think we can open another session, I think.
Dr. Fia, let me tell you, my PhD research was about the youth, Facebook advertising likability factors in Pakistan. Let me tell you, we are very fortunate that our youth has carried forward all the values which were there 40 years before. The values, we are fortunate, I am very sure about the youth of Indonesia. Our family systems, our Islamic ideologies, all these things have helped us, our youth, to keep those values, ethics intact. I'm pretty sure about Indonesian youth as well. So on my youth part, I can tell you that they have same ethical, religious, and cultural values as I had. So don't, you are too young, you are also the part of youth. Don't think that youth is different from you.
No, I'm already old. My hairs have a 5 colors. Back to you, Dian.
Okay, so it's such
I
a
think
good.
Dr. Anthony is the most youngest among us. He looks like.
Oh, he always young.
Okay, what an interesting discussion, right? Because I commonly found that military also becoming the important actor in promoting the awareness issues of COVID-19 in
I
Indonesia.
think
So
let's not.
this is the first time I think that,
Talk
oh,
about
okay, it's not only in Indonesia that
it. I
involved
think,
as
this
important.
debate will be done later on. So
Yeah.
ultimately, the thing is that we are blessed by whatever ways we are able to curb this in the. But this, 2 lakh was nothing in Pakistan. It was just very nominal considering the kind of cases we have seen in US, Europe, and other countries. So this, I don't know about the number of Indonesian cases, but we were able to get hold of it when it crossed 200,000 cases.
Yeah, I heard that the last time the update of our number, it's more than 400,000. I think that's confirmedly positive, and maybe it's rising. I don't know because even we didn't touch the second wave. It's different, like Pakistan, as you said, that you're now entering the second wave, and
Pray for
not
us.
now, yeah,
Pray for us. Pray
even
for us.
currently we have no idea about our position. Still we in the first wave, or are we stuck and we going to the another wave? And now we already have one question from Ivan Bimantoro Wahid. So Ivan Bimantoro Wahid is one of our international class student in batch 2019. He has a question about uh, how do you think about the public trust to the government amidst this crisis in the Pakistan? Since the government play a huge role to mitigate this crisis. Thanks in advance.
How do you think about the public trust to government, this crisis, since the government plays a huge role to mitigate this crisis? Well, the public, you cannot always say that 100% of the public trusts the government. What we did was we had lifted the lockdown after a certain time. we had, as I've told you that people here are 55 to 60% are living beyond the poverty line. Our leadership had this vision that if we will carry on with the lockdown, there will be a kind of feminine situation in Pakistan, So this was a very risky decision which the government took, but it was all blessings that it worked, and we were able to bring this number down. And since August till October, we were living normal life. We had no fear. There were no cases. Means so the public has, since I've shared with you the results of the initiative of the government. So the public have shown good amount of trust, and as it was enforced as well. We had lockdown since March 21. And it was eased in March, April, May. After Ramadan, it was eased. So 3-4 months, we were having the support of public, and public had shown trust on the government's capability and commitment and strategy to combat this coronavirus. There is another question not addressed to someone. I think the ineffective social campaign is also due to the large number of people who take advantage of the situation by selling masks too expensive. Selling masks or this kind of thing, let me tell you, when universities and schools were opening, a lot of businessmen tried to avail this opportunity. I was contacted by some businessmen that you recommend us and we will have you looked after. I said, this is not happening. It don't make money out of this epidemic. So this has to be done by the centralized thing. The government will look after it. No individual will be selling this kind of stuff. So there was an approach that we sell masks to schools and schools will sell to the student, which is not entertained. Everyone has the right to buy the mask at their own. No authority is coming the part of this business, So fortunately, we were not able to help these opportunists. Even in endemic, they think that they can make money out of it. It's really sad. But we are fortunate that we did not entertain this kind of considerations and approach, and we did not enforce anything as well.
But is
But
that yes?
in my opinion, I think in some developing country, even though in America there is some people who opportunities to try to find out this is like this, little opportunities to make them, doing some business during the pandemic. But however, in Indonesia, because we don't have any rules regarding selling the mass control by the government, that's make in Indonesia the case is getting worse. But not like in China. In China, the government control, the selling of masks, and every single um, apotek tuh, pharmacy store must have the same price, same like in Australia. Not happening in Indonesia because the government is difficult to control the people who want to sell and buy the masker just for their own. That's the problem.
Yeah, we always face in everywhere. We face the same situation, right? People trying to survive, try everything as they can to at least fulfill and make them feel safe, and by taking some profits from this crisis situation. I saw the raised hand from Sikandar Hayat. Do you,
Yes, this is Sikandar here.
okay, do you have
To the
any,
reference of,
or you want to share your experience? Maybe if you don't mind, you might turn on your video. Uh,
yes, I would like to mention here, this is Sikandar here to the reference of Sir Sohail.
mhm.
My question is for Melina. I want to ask her that if you are still going through the lockdown in your country, and also let me know What limitations did you place on educational institutes in your country?
Okay. I think we have a same situation like in Pakistan. We already locked down our campus for our students, and we now running online classes in all faculties. There is no offline class. I think Dr. Anthony will explain to you more clearly rather than mine because he's the head of the department. And during to the because we follow the guideline from the Ministry of Higher Research and Higher Education. There is no campus in Indonesia open for uh, uh, offline or on campus teaching and learning process. So we brought every single program at the moment is in online. I know this is very we made some difficulties, especially for our students, have a problem with the internet connection, and then how they can provide the good quality or high quality of I don't know, maybe in English is quota for internet, and then the also have this gap between the location sometimes because Indonesia is a huge country. We have many islands in the country, and some of the students living in the small island, and the internet connection is still limited. And then again because of the technical problems, but we are trying very best, especially in University Brawijaya. We provide some support to our students. At the first time when we locked down, we are still keeping our students stay inside in our campus. For the students who live in our dormitory, we provide some foods. I think we have some international students until today not leaving the country and stay inside our dormitory. We provide the food as well, and we keep them safe and healthy. But after the end of the last semester, we allow two students to come back their homeland or their home city. And then nowadays in Malang, we just only have our original Malang residents who are our students, and some international students who staying in our dormitory. I think my explanation is quite enough, Sikandar, to answer your question. I think Dr.
This was
Anthony can Dr.
this
Anthony can
was
help. Yes.
Marina, you have helped me a lot by answering this question. We did not discuss about one pressure aspect, which was students, because they are very eager and keen to have that campus life and fun with the friends and everything. So this is one more pressure factor which comes on us, that they are desperate to be on the campus, but since being we are their parents, we know that we have to keep them as secure as my own kid. I
Yes.
can, like I care for my kid, I care for my students.
Yes, of course.
Nobody can actually risk on their health and life. This is very important for us and for the nation as well. So I'm happy that we have again the same policy on a lot of aspects. What a wonderful thing to know.
Okay, Dr. Anthony, maybe you can add some comments regarding about how our teaching and learning process during the
Yeah,
pandemic, please.
yeah, okay. I think I want to say about how is the policy from our government. There is what is relaxation policy from Minister of Education. For example, the student who in the end of their what is years studies, government give more what is one semester more, yeah, to finish what is their studies, for example. And then also the government give what is supporting for internet, yeah, for the student. But I think until now the students still ask more, yeah. What is the what is funding for
Internet allowance.
yeah,
Internet
internet
allowance.
alone, yeah, that's right. And then also in the context of relaxation, there's also the limitation of time, yeah, in what is synchronous interaction between lecturer and student. We can only what is not more than 50%, yeah. What is it? A synchronous lecturer, yeah, and then also only 60 minutes, yeah, 60 minutes the meeting, yeah, in the synchronous lecturer. So I think we face the what is similar problem, yeah, how to change our mindset maybe to be familiar with what is online lecturing. I think that's all, Bu Bia.
Well, so hell, I just not complain, but story from my students that they are getting stressful and depression because they just miss their friends, missing hanging out with their friends in a
Our
cafe.
students, our
Yes,
students
of
also need
course.
friends.
I think one of my students now is get laughing because everybody now is get stressful, depression because they feel lonely and then too much workload, and then sometimes they just feeling angry. They don't know what to do. Especially they really, well, they don't miss us as their lecturer. They really miss their friends to have a hanging out in the cafe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's the problems. Yes, I think
Dr.
that's we have
Anthony,
a failure.
we have again the same approach that our Higher Education Commission had looked after this connectivity problem. Our cellular companies and the National Pakistan Telecommunication, they facilitated the students. Likewise, we have exempted our students who live in remote areas from uh, synchronous classes plus examination. They have been given certain consideration in the examination. So plus recently we have allowed our final year project students to come and have their labs with SOPs so that they can get their final year projects submitted and they get their degrees in this spring 2020 fall 20 semester. We have given this provision to our student. So gradually whatever we can do to help and facilitate students, that we are doing. But once again, I would emphasize on their health and safety. This is all here. Inshallah ta'ala, everything is here. If you are here, your life is important. Let's get out of this situation, fortunately and safely, with our all loved ones safe and intact. One student means one family. Whosoever will come to university will take that thing to their parents, their old grandparents, and everyone at home. It is such a big spread which nobody can control. So we have heard the good news yesterday about the vaccine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, may Allah bless us all with this thing and we get rid of it. Once again, yet another similarity between Indonesia and Pakistan. And we will be together, inshallah, once things are normal.
Inshallah, inshallah.
It's now, it's more getting more eager to meet Dr. Anthony and
Inshallah.
Dehan and Pia and everyone. You coming here, our students coming there, hopefully. So lovely to being with you. Wonderful experience.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Sahil.
Adian.
Okay, so before we go to another section, is there any more question, maybe from Ivan or from Warda, related to the comments of Mr. Sahil?
Sorry, I could not get you, Dehan.
Okay. So before we go to the next section, I will invite the student like Ivan or Warda. Maybe they will give another comments from your answer.
Okay.
Maybe they will ask more, or they still curious about how Pakistani government managing the communication process during this COVID-19 crisis. Okay.
No, thank you. It's enough for me.
Oh, it's all clear. Okay. So, any other question from the audience?
Varda is also Pakistani name. We have very extensive girls who have name Varda. This is quite extensively being kept by Pakistani parents. Varda is quite extensive name which has been given to our daughters in Pakistan.
Yeah, because it's from Al Quran, Ar Rahman, in Ar
Yeah,
Rahman.
yeah.
Okay, before maybe we can before we close the section, I would ask Mr. Sohel about the last question. Maybe for me, the closing question. Maybe it can lead to the closing statement from you. Do you think that the communication process that managed by the government of Pakistan right now is still effective? And also for Ms. Bia, maybe do you think it's all effective for the communication process until now?
Yeah. Sohel, you first.
Yeah. As far as I see, I've already given my professional feedback in my presentation about the areas which should have been improved. But as a whole, the strategy was good, and the information flow and communication was centralized. That is the key, that you develop message and keep updating after monitoring from need-based changes. And this is how communication flew. But no communication can be perfect. There is always room for improvement. So I'm happy with the kind of communication my government has done, and I have strong faith in my government.
Okay, thank you.
And
And Mrs. Pia, do you think the
yes,
same
I'm
way?
so I'm so glad when hearing, the explanation from Mr. Sohel that our government has the same track with Pakistani. I think in some degree the strategy, the program, the message is effective in some degree. But again, we still need continuity, and then also the how we can make people to obey the rules. That's the most important thing. And then again, the government should be a good example for our people, because in Indonesia, uh, role models, a good example is everything for them. If the Indonesian government can give us a good example as a role model, then Indonesian people will follow. I think there is more strategy regarding how Indonesian government empower youth organization, religious leaders, because I think informal communication way is much more effective rather than a formal communication channel. I think that's my opinion, Mbak Dian, and I'm very happy that we are Indonesian have the same situation like Pakistan, and we have same strategy and program like Pakistani. So we are not alone, we have to trust our government. Okay.
Okay. We
Okay.
are brothers. We are Muslim brothers. That has to be, because the way we take up things is the same.
Okay, thank you. So before I close our section with summarize, I would like to invite all of participants here to turn on their camera, because we're going to have a collective photo together. Okay, please. Okay, please just turn on your camera, all of you, so I can see your beautiful faces here. Okay. Okay.
You know what, Dian? I just miss wearing Salman and Salwar Kamis. I still remember when I was visiting Pakistan, I'm
Yeah,
so proud to wearing Salwar Kamis.
you look great. You look great, and you were really great all the way. Hope to have you again. Let's get the things better. We will be together, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay. Let me take the picture, okay? For one slide. Okay, I think we will make it for 3 takes. And the last one. Okay, so as a conclusion of this discussion,
both Indonesian and Pakistan has a great strategy in managing the communication, especially from the government, how they're trying to integrate the communication process between each sector and how they're trying to protect their citizens, especially from the risk, and how they're trying to maintain the communication consistently from its communication channel in every stage of this crisis level, right? As Mr. Sohail said, that in each stage from the initial assessment until we go for the media monitoring, since our current situation, we still manage the communication as well, and we have to trust to our government because they need to know that we are all in the same situation and we face this new situation together, giving our contribution each other by still put a high awareness related to this risk of COVID-19 issues. Okay, thank you for all participants who joined this section. Hope to see you again in another.
I would like to invite Dr. Anthony and Dr. Pia and all those friends from the faculty for academic sessions with my students. We are going to have one session with Dr. Pia and Dr. Anthony. I will ask about the specializations, and from my side, we will be there as I am advertising professional. I've got my faculty. One is Dr. Miss Aisha Mirza. She's a social media expert. She has been into it. One guy is advertising and public relation expert. We have got communication, development communication experts. So off and on, we can have lectoral kind of sessions to actually get benefit from each other's skill set. So I am there whenever I would discuss with Dr. Molina about Dr. Anthony's specialization, and we will arrange a session with our students. So thank you, Malaysia. I salute you all. Thank you very much for being there. It's an honor for Pakistan to talk to you. And we are so proud that we are able to talk to you. And I congratulate Dr. Anthony, Dr. Molina, that such a wonderful number has come up for for encouraging us, for encouraging the faculty. And I hope that most of them are not here for the attendance. Okay.
Thank you for the insightful presentation. See you next time. Bye-bye all.
Bye-bye. Stay safe and stay healthy. I love you all.
Indonesia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Fi aman Allah. Fi aman Allah.